Adam's apple, going, and he would drink that until it was all gone. And then I'd watch that anger, and I'd watch that fear, and I'd watch all that stuff in his face just disappear. All that tension would just disappear. And then he'd say, ah. And he'd just get just as happy and silly, you see. And then we walked back home. And it got to the point in time, me being as curious as I am, it got to the point to where I was going to ask them for some of that, but I wanted to build up enough nerves. And the opportunity came at one particular time when he couldn't finish it all. And he had a little bit left in there, maybe about half a bottle. And I had mustered up enough nerve, and I said, WC, let me hit it. And he looked down at me and he said, can you kill it? I said, yeah, I can kill it. And he gave me the bottle, and I did just like he did. And I goggled it down, and I felt the warmth going through me. And at that point in time, when we talk about alcoholism as being a disease of perception, instantaneously it altered my whole perception about life. The people I once hated, I began to love. The people I once began to fear, I lost fear. The hate I had about myself, I felt just as good as anybody else. I was on top of the world, and I fell in love with that. The book talks about drinking for the effect. That's the effect that I had. That's the effect that alcohol had on me. Instantaneously, it changed my perception about myself and the world I lived in and everybody, and I needed that, you see. And from that point on, that's all I wanted to do. And I wasn't good in school. As I said before, I was a short, fat, chubby guy, and I had asthma. And I was cockeyed. And they laughed at me in school. And I didn't like school, but I could play some football.